Imagine giving your whole heart, your home, your car, your phone, to someone you loved, only to find out he was using it all to cheat on you. I didn't just catch him. I destroyed his entire little fantasy world, and when I was done, he was jobless, homeless, and humiliated. You know that one person who always thinks they can fix people? That was me. I used to joke that my dating life was like saving the world, one moron at a time. But one of those morons almost ruined me. His name was Bob. Not his real name, obviously, but the kind of name that fits. Because Bob was the human equivalent of a participation trophy. We met at the local mall. I was juggling 2 jobs just to survive. He worked in another store nearby. He was funny, charming, and said all the right things. And when my lease was up a few months later, we moved in together. Biggest mistake of my life. At first it was little things. Like when he confidently said there were only 4 continents, and the rest were owned by the Martian government. Yeah, I wish I was kidding. But when I'd try to correct him, he'd twist his words around until I just gave up. It was like arguing with a conspiracy theorist who thought Google was a government trap. And then came the laziness. Bob could spend 12 hours straight on the couch, Netflix DVDs playing, video games blaring, while I worked double and triple shifts. He didn't shower, didn't clean, didn't even try to get a job. The smell in our apartment could have knocked out a raccoon. Every time I asked about his job search, he had a new excuse. The bus doesn't go that far. The internet's down. Or my favorite, I can't go, I don't have a car, while staring at my car in the parking lot. And somehow every time I ended up helping him, driving him around, letting him use my phone for job calls, letting him hold my phone all day while I worked. Yeah, you can probably see where this is going. Then things got weird. He'd stay up all night, playing his online war game, typing away in the group chat until dawn. I'd go to bed alone, and he'd promise to join me in a minute. That minute usually turned into sunrise. Soon, he started asking to borrow my car to hang out with his best friend Ben. I didn't love it, but I knew Ben. Honestly, I trusted Ben more than I trusted Bob, so I said okay. Every time, Bob came back right on time. Polite. Come. Thankful. And I'd think, maybe I'm just being paranoid. Until one day, he said he wanted to go to a card game tournament. He said there was prize money involved, that he could finally buy his own phone. So I let him go. My first day off in weeks, I just stayed home, drank a few monsters with vodka, and passed out. I woke up violently sick. Not hungover. Sick. Hours of vomiting, sweating, shaking. No phone. No car. No Bob. I had to crawl out of my apartment and beg a neighbor to let me use their phone to call my mom. Turns out, I'd caught an antibiotic-resistant stomach infection. I was in the ER by noon. And when Bob finally showed up that evening, he had my car keys, my phone, and the fakest look of concern I've ever seen. My mom saw right through him. And honestly, that was the beginning of the end. Months passed. He got, and lost, a few jobs. Finally, with my help, he landed 3 buildings away from where I worked. It was a rent-to-own furniture company, and I even knew the hiring manager. Within weeks, I came home to find a brand new TV and sound system in our living room. He grinned and said, "Don't worry, babe, I get an employee discount." I told him we could barely afford food, and he just shrugged. Worse, he'd put my name on the rental account. Fast forward a month. The TV disappeared. I thought he finally realized his mistake, until I found a pawn shop receipt in his jeans. That's when I snapped. But I didn't even know how deep the lies went yet. One morning, I stayed home with a migraine and told him to take the car, but leave my phone. A few hours later, it rang. "Hello." I answered groggily. There was silence. Then a woman's voice. Is Bob there?" I froze. "No," I said, my voice shaking. "This is his wife." Total lie, but I needed to see where this was going. She stumbled through an excuse, said she had the wrong number. I could hear the panic. "Please," I said softly, "I just need someone to tell me the truth." There was a pause. Then she said, "Give me a little while. I'll call you back." And she did. Her name was June. And for the next 45 minutes, She and I compared stories that made both our stomachs turn. They'd been dating again for months, ever since reconnecting on his stupid online game. All those late-night gaming sessions? He was chatting with her. All those hangouts with Ben? He was using my car to take her out. And when I was in the ER, alone, terrified, he was with June. By the time we finished comparing notes, we were both shaking with anger. June took a deep breath and said, "You know what? We should bust him together." It was like a switch flipped in my head. Yes, we should. I called a coworker, sobbing, begging for a ride to get my car back. They came through. When I arrived at Bob's workplace, I walked right in and ran into his manager. The guy stopped me mid-sentence and said, "Ma'am, we need to talk about your account." He was referring to the rental TV. I told him everything, that Bob had pawned it, that we couldn't afford it. The manager's face went red. "He pawned a rental TV? That's illegal," he snapped. "If you get it back, we'll cancel the contract. No penalties. And I'll deal with him." I promised to bring it back, and told him to send Bob to meet me at my workplace. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. I lit a cigarette outside, waiting. Then I saw him, walking toward me, pale and sweaty, like a kid caught stealing cookies. He started stammering. "It's not what it looks like, babe." I let him talk, dig his own grave. And then June's car pulled up. She parked right next to us, stepped out, and smiled. "Hey, Bob. How you doing?" He turned white as a ghost. Sat down on the curb. Didn't say a word. June let him have it. She tore through his lies like a lawyer in a courtroom, while I stood beside her, arms crossed, watching his face crumble. When she finished, I finally spoke. "We're done. I'll pack your things. Your sister can pick them up. Now hand over your key." He refused. Tried to act tough. But it didn't matter. June handed me my stolen hummingbird necklace, the one my mom gave me for my birthday, and walked away. And I stood there, shaking but free. I called my mom. Within minutes, both my parents arrived. My dad didn't say a word, just drove me to the pawn shop, paid $500 to get the TV back, and took it straight to Bob's workplace. As the manager canceled the contract, my dad looked out the window. "There he is," he muttered. A few minutes later, he came back holding my apartment key. "I believe this is yours," he said, smiling. "They're firing him." My mom hugged me tight, and for the first time in months, I felt safe. Jobless. Homeless. Exposed. That was Bob's new reality. And honestly, I didn't feel guilty for a second. A few days later, Bob's sister came for his boxes of junk. He tried to talk. My best friend shut him down so hard he barely got a word out. And that was it. He vanished. No calls. No messages. Nothing. Years later, I married my high school sweetheart. We have 2 beautiful sons. And every now and then when I think back, I can't help but wonder where Bob ended up. Maybe out there in the woods, surviving with only his wits and a stick, waiting for the Martian government to take over the continents. A girl can dream. He cheated. He lied. He used me. But in the end, I took back everything he'd stolen, and he lost everything. Sometimes karma doesn't need to wait years. Sometimes, it shows up the same day. And when it does, it's beautiful.